Welcome to another episode of No Tears for Black Girls, a true crime podcast with a purpose. Written and produced by award-winning author John Reedburg. I'm your host, Samantha Paul. Let's dive in.
Houston, Texas, March 15th, 2007.
It kept neighbors guessing for days.
I never smelled anything like that in my life.
The smoke and odor coming out of the now boarded-up apartment 224 was a mystery. Until now.
I never thought that, something like this could happen so close to home. I guess everyone does, but then, you realize, you never know who your neighbors are.
March 2007 saw a college freshman returning home for spring break, only to not finish it. This was the last night of Tynesha Stewart's life. In the early morning of the 15th, her volatile relationship with her ex-boyfriend, Timothy Wayne Shepard, erupted into an argument that would prove fatal. All evidence suggested he was the last to see her alive. So when police searched his Red Oak Place apartment, they braced themselves for something ominous. The mystery of her disappearance began on the morning of March 15th. Tynesha left her friend's place without her phone, never to be seen again by those near her. As 5 days passed in silence, police asked Shepard to comply with the search. What they found sent chills down their spine. Blood splatters on the light switch, edges of the tub, and base of the toilet. Despite Shepard being questioned and released by authorities, Quanell X sensed something sinister was afoot. The former gang leader bridged the gap between the African-American community and police to get justice for Tynesha's case. He spoke with a frightened Shepard, who feared the death penalty he'd face if he confessed to his crime. After a call with his lawyer, Shepard agreed to take Quanell X and an officer to where he had dumped the body. But when they arrived, someone had cleared the dumpster. No trace of evidence remained. Authorities took Shepard back to the station, where he admitted strangling her during an argument before leaving her in a plastic bag inside the dumpster. Overwhelmed with desperation, Shepard made an unsuccessful attempt to end his own life. The authorities unraveled the mystery of where Tynesha's body had gone. With every morsel of evidence, the truth became more apparent and more sinister. Shepard had brought her body to his balcony, and with 2 barbecues, one of his neighbors started a gruesome ritual of dismemberment and burning. The air was heavy with the smell of death, neighbors noticing an offensive odor and black smoke billowing from the grills. But when the firefighters arrived, Shepard convinced them that all was well. What they did not expect, however, were the pieces of meat floating in the bathtub and burned chunks on the stovetop, still smoking at that. One could only imagine what sinister acts this man had committed. The Aldine community of Houston was in shock as news spread about the untimely death of Tynesha. For days, her neighbor had heard the faint hum coming out of Shepard's apartment. As the police and firefighters came to investigate, a nearby neighbor noticed something familiar in his hands, a grill and a smoker, both missing from Shepard's balcony. When the police searched his disposal system, they found fragments of bone and tooth enamel, human. More burned bones with cuts lay beneath his patio, but too small or charred to yield DNA. At his trial, they revealed he had strangled Tynesha after she attacked him with a knife. A crime of passion that prosecutors argued deserved maximum sentences. Tynesha was one of 6 children living in poverty, yet she still excelled. She graduated in the top 10% of her class, captained the girls' basketball team, worked part-time, and take part in other activities. All who knew her remember Tynesha Stewart as a bright young woman with an amazing future. Despite being a murder victim, those whose hearts Tynesha Stewart touched and who were inspired by her keep her light alive. Love us? Leave us a positive review or rating. Follow No Tears for Black Girls on social media and No Tears for BG on Twitter. Be blessed, be loved, stay safe.